tonight we're taking a closer look at a new technology that's making waves in the world of AI, ChatGPT.
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 The viral sensation that could completely reset how we do things.
And I think we also need to see the opportunities that this new technology is offering.
But the AI program has a dark side, which not many people know about.
Once shrouded in mystery, investing has undergone an extraordinary transformation. Digital innovation revolutionized the game, democratizing investing for all. Online brokerages brought the power of trading to the masses. The rise of artificial intelligence, like ChatGPT, has left no doubt that we're witnessing the dawn of a new era. Gone are the days of relying solely on human judgment. This fusion of human expertise and artificial intelligence has opened new doors, creating opportunities and expanding the boundaries. In this video, let's talk about this new but very real way to invest through ChatGPT, how it's already beating the stock market, if this is actually good or not for the investing world, and most importantly, how all of this impacts you. First, let's back up. What's ChatGPT? I know, by now it's so obvious for those of us that live on the internet, but believe it or not, according to a recent survey by Finder.com, 38% of people didn't even know what ChatGPT was. So if you've been living under a rock the last few months, ChatGPT is AI. It's a language learning model that's getting smarter and smarter every single day. At the end of 2022, the world was enamored with ChatGPT. It was the fastest platform to gain 1 million users in just 5 days. Every YouTuber scrambled to become a ChatGPT expert and share tips and tricks in their niche on how to profit from it, including me. It forced the big tech companies into a race for AI supremacy, and unfortunately, it can end up taking hundreds of millions of jobs from around the world. Except, this was really just the tip of the iceberg. As sophisticated as the old ChatGPT version was, it was only programmed through 2021, rendering it completely useless for anything newer than that. However, in March 2023, ChatGPT version 4 was released and is supposedly 500 times larger and smarter than all of us. ChatGPT 4 had aced some of the hardest tests here in the United States, like the SAT and the bar exam, but not calculus. Ha! Stupid robot. But how would ChatGPT do with investing? It all started with a CNN article that said ChatGPT could pick stocks better than your fund manager. Being the finance nerd that I am, they got my click. The article shared that researchers conducted an experiment where they fed ChatGPT the most recent economic data, things like inflation rates, the housing market, and trained it on some basic financial literacy just to see what it would do. They let this experiment run for over 50 days, and ChatGPT picked 38 random stocks it thought that would do well. Some of these stocks included Microsoft, Nvidia, Coca-Cola, and Walmart. And from March to April of this year, it was competing against 10 of the most popular funds across the world. Funds from names of companies you've definitely heard of, like Vanguard, HSBC, and Fidelity. And in the same Finder.com poll from earlier, 35% of people said that they would never trust ChatGPT for financial advice. Maybe they would reconsider, because after the 50 days, the ChatGPT experiment outperformed the 10 broad market funds on 45 of those days, or a 90% success rate. Over this time period, the ChatGPT experiment is currently beating the S&P 500, otherwise known as the gold standard for all investing. Before you get too excited though, it's one thing to be right in the short term, and it's another thing to be right consistently over a much longer period of time. The 11 weeks so far that this experiment has been happening just isn't enough time, so a new challenge is born. Introducing the ChatGPT Fund. With this challenge, ChatGPT was given a prompt, which is, we are giving you $50,000 to create a real investment portfolio and put your skills to the test. Every Monday, you'll analyze and buy a new set of stocks, and we will sell them 2 weeks later. You will repeat this on a weekly basis. Okay, so far so good, but how does this selection process even happen? First, the entire concept was based on a research paper that used ChatGPT to analyze which headlines it considered to be positive, neutral, or negative for stock prices. After that, ChatGPT recorded which headlines showed the most movements after being published, based on a set of keywords. And wouldn't you know it, ChatGPT was actually pretty good at discovering which stocks would fall the most. As of now, ChatGPT is simply absorbing the information, determining whether that information is positive, negative, or neutral, relaying that against stock movements that have happened in the past, and then making its best guesstimation on what it thinks is going to happen in the future. Normally, basing your investments strictly off of news is generally considered stupid and probably falls under investing emotionally, which I've strongly discouraged on this channel. But you have to admit, it is pretty intriguing. Okay, so now we know what the fund is, how the selection process works, but what about the stocks that it's actually picked? The first 20 stock purchases were made on Monday, May 15th, and they were the top scoring stocks from ChatGPT's analysis, including the likes of Berkshire Hathaway, Google, and Apple. Their scoring system is based on many factors. They're going to be feeding it articles manually from the internet, as well as connecting data from the top news organizations and keeping it up to date with macroeconomic data just to make sure ChatGPT has all the information they think it needs. Based on all this, ChatGPT will then try and find the stocks that have the best market sentiment, or stocks that people are most excited about in the future. They'll also look for negative market sentiment to go against or short certain stocks within their group. The second week of stocks are officially out, and 20 more stocks from ChatGPT have been selected, stocks like Microsoft, Pepsi, and Netflix. This is going to keep continuing week after week after week, and it's gotten so much buzz that the portfolio is actually up to $11 million and has 2,000 plus investors already. I can't go any further in this video without talking about a couple of the huge problems I see with this. First, there could be an issue with ChatGPT recommending stocks because people are just blindly backing it. Since ChatGPT is looking for patterns based on past performances from the data that it's given, it should be able to form an opinion on what's most likely going to happen in the future. But if everyone gets those recommendations, then everything that ChatGPT recommends is just going to go up because investors are going to be dealing with the same information. Now, let's assume that there are patterns out there to be exploited. The efficient market hypothesis could actually come in handy here, which is when new information comes into the market, it's immediately reflected in stock prices, eliminating any possibilities for excess returns. So if everyone gets access to the same information at the same time, it no longer becomes an advantage and it takes away the human element from investing. So while this ChatGPT fund can be really fun to keep an eye on, my recommendation to you would be to keep your investing strategy as boring as possible, which means investing in broad market index funds. Don't get caught up trying to chase that shiny object. Use proven methods that have worked time and time and time again. Broad market index funds are unsexy, they're boring, but also extremely reliable for those with a long-term mindset. In the long run, I do think that ChatGPT is going to be incredibly useful for simplifying information and making it way more digestible for the investing amateur like you and me who don't have time to review stock charts, stock news, or company updates. The set it and forget it investing strategy is best for all levels of experience. If you want to level up your finances with broad market index funds, find out what they are, how they work, and why they're the best investment for you, I would watch this video here.